People always ask me why it is that I've decided to help the homeless and go with the Homeless Voice as the organization that we're going to volunteer with. And my answer is always the same. I always say that it's a passion of mine to help those who need help. I think that it's very important when you're in a position where you're fortunate enough to have a place to go at night and to sleep and food every day and a home and a loving family. It doesn't mean that you're done. You have to pay it forward and you have to help those who are in most need. I've learned throughout the years that anything can happen and your life can change from one day to the next. And a lot of people who are homeless today are in circumstances that they couldn't control because of the obvious problems that we're having in our economy. So therefore, now that I have the opportunity, I'm in a place where I'm able to help. I'm glad I can. And I'm so grateful that so many people have participated and joined with me and made this whole effort that I'm trying to do a lot easier by allowing us to start a bubble drive and collecting over thousands of items that we donated to the shelter that consisted of shampoo, conditioners, other hygiene products, detergents, towels, toothbrushes, toothpaste, everything that you can think of that a person needs as a basic necessity. We were able to collect that and get that donated to the Homeless Voice. So that's just one of the many efforts that we're trying to come with together. As far as my political views, I know that this is an election year and that this year it's high priority to talk about who to vote for and who has the best the next candidate commercials. And we all know that a lot of money is spent on campaigning, a lot of money is spent on convincing you that the right party is the one to vote for. And everyone's entitled to their own opinion and everyone's entitled to vote for who they see is best to run our country. But I sometimes wonder, when are we going to start focusing on the people? It's very difficult to pick a side when we all know that the people get forgotten about. There's a percentage of people that don't have anything and they don't get any kind of help, and they are expected to be part of America and to believe in the people that they're voting for. But how does a person vote when they don't even have a way of getting to a voting booth because they don't have a home, because they have to worry about how to eat, they have to worry about where they sleep at night? There's people who don't have absolutely anything to look forward to for tomorrow. And we expect these people to believe that the new politician in office is going to make everything better for them. As far as my political views, I will stand and I will say that there's certain things I agree with and certain things I don't. But one thing I would like to see change is the help that they should give those who don't have anything. I think that I'm doing my own part in helping in a small scale. Why can't others join and help as well? I think that if we all united as a human society, a lot of these problems will be a lot easier to manage. Yes, to be honest with you, before I started this whole movement and this whole volunteerism and drive, I did view homeless people differently. I used to think that the average homeless person, unfortunately, was in that situation because they wanted to be. I associated people who were homeless with people with drug addictions or people who just gave up. And I've learned so much in my experience that that's not the case. There's a lot of people who have families. There's a lot of people who had great jobs. There's a lot of people who went through a tragedy in their life all of a sudden and they lost everything, and they are also homeless. And being in the shelter, I got to meet people and have conversations with them, and they were people that told me that things just went wrong. They got into a car accident, their health insurance did not cover whatever experience they were going through. They had a long stay in the hospital to get back on their feet, and they got evicted out of their home, and they had nowhere else to go and turn, and they had to go to a shelter. And people don't always think of those kind of situations. They only assume that the stereotypes are the only people who are in those situations. But if you even just take a minute just to Google, you know, what the stats are, there's a lot of homeless people out here that a year ago were not in that situation. People are living paycheck to paycheck nowadays, and unfortunately it can happen to anyone. The first time I actually walked into the actual shelter in Hollywood, Florida, it was such a humbling experience for me. It had been something that I knew I was going to go and try to see how I can help. I walked in, made an appointment with one of the people who are in charge named Jenny, and I set up a regular day. And as soon as I walked in, I was overwhelmed. It was a place that you see a dire need for help. There were people laying on the sides. There were people outside just sitting down. There was a smell that overtook you as soon as you got there. I saw that the director, Jenny and Sean, that they looked so tired and exhausted, but they were still willing to help. As you walk down the hallways, there's Christmas lights on the walls, and the reason the lights are there is because the light bill is so expensive that they need to use the Christmas lights to provide energy and to provide lighting for them when they have to turn off the lights because they can't afford it. Telling me that it's so hard to just pay the water bill because there's 200 plus people that stay there on a regular basis and they're paying for everything on their own. Seeing people who are just so ridden with illnesses and sicknesses and they've been turned away by every other shelter or every other form of help, and the only place they can go to is this place. It was extremely humbling, and it opened my heart, it opened my mind, and it opened my ideas to help. And that's why ShoMi Entertainment, along with recording artist Absolute, along with Seijo Entertainment, along with Posh Bellas, along with many other companies and churches that are now starting to volunteer and help us, we've all united to try to make this situation better. I know that normally people who are in my age bracket or part of my generation, we are very selfish and we only think of ourselves. And being that I'm from this new generation, I'm from the generation that only thinks of themselves, I want to prove that that's not the case. I'm going to reach out to our demographics to help our people. There's definitely a way you can help. Right now, we're still accepting cash donations. You can find all the information if you go to ShoMiEntertainment.com. It's going to have a link that's going to route you to thehomelessorg.com, and that's going to give you some information as to how you can do cash donations. If you want to send in donations, if you want to send in clothing, if you want to send in whatever can help the homeless, anything is really appreciated. From the bare necessities, all of it is welcomed. Also, we do have an EP for sale that's called Our Voice. The proceeds from this sale are going to go towards this cause. The recording artist Absolute has actually dedicated this album to the homeless voice so that we can help raise awareness, not only in a traditional way but also in an entertaining way, so that we can reach out to those who follow the music and follow the culture and also want to get involved and just don't know how. So even just by buying one copy, that copy does help. I'm also going to be hosting some events throughout the year that the proceeds are going to go towards the homeless voice. So if you're interested in helping, please do contact me at ShoMiEntertainment.com or at ShoMiEnt@gmail.com, or you can call me at 305-330-0224, and we can collaborate and come up with great ideas. All help is needed, all help is welcomed, and ultimately every little bit does count. So if you follow us and follow me on Twitter, I'll be more than happy to guide everyone in the proper way. Thank you.